Rotary Central help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury, and JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is For the Record.
For the Record. 1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees. So fair. It is a wet day out there today, Friday, the 28th day of June 2024, right here in the Cayman Islands. It is wet outside, and we will talk more about that as well. So we hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on our roads, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, operating any type of motorized vehicle, please, please, please be extremely cautious. We know that the statistics, past statistics say that what we have at least 9 reported vehicular accidents per day in the Cayman Islands. That is quite a lot. With the inclement weather, the rain, it probably raises the probability of having an accident on our roads even higher. So, please be extremely cautious. Adjust your driving to suit the conditions under which you are driving. Remember, your visibility will be extremely reduced or significantly reduced as a result of the rain coming down. And in some areas, when I was coming in this morning, it was coming down steady and heavy at times and in certain areas. So you need to be extra cautious out there. There is no need for you to rush. There is no need for you to drive aggressively. Take your time. Remember, the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a happy birthday or a belated one as well. Those of you who have lost loved ones, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We do hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing to you. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we want to wish you a speedy recovery. So, folks, again, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy and wet roads of the Cayman Islands this morning, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Orrett Connor. You're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. Toll-free number 1-800-534-8255. Other numbers 949-8037, 949-6990, or WhatsApp number 925-3261. And if you want to follow us on YouTube, you simply do that by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. Lots to talk about this morning, but first of all, our birthday shout-outs brought to you by Coca-Cola, who are proud to support your birthday shout-outs. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga wholesalers. You should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. And by Superior Auto. Okay, I see. Superior Auto, they keep your car in tune. Call them 949-9570 or 525-9571. That may be a free plug there for Superior Auto, but you have supported us so far all the way. I'm not sure whether or not the sponsorship is still on, and we'll find out more about that later. But again, we want to thank them for supporting the birthday shout-out. So let's look at some of the birthdays being celebrated. Do we have any for today? So we see that tomorrow L.M. Edwards is celebrating a birthday. And then later in June on Sunday, we have Mr. Martino Watson, who will be celebrating his birthday. Miss Wilma Ebanks also celebrating her birthday on Sunday. Mr. Dennis Connor up there in East End, he's celebrating his birthday on Sunday also, the 30th of June. If you know someone who's celebrating a birthday today, please share that information with us. It doesn't have to be today either. It can be over the weekend, or it could be a belated happy birthday as well. If you provide those to us, we will share them. Send them to our WhatsApp number 925-3261. Also, to remind those persons out there who are planning on visiting the Treasury Department today, the Treasury counter, they will open at 10:30 this morning, Friday, the 28th of June, 2024. The Accountant General advises that the Treasury Cashier counter will be closed to the public from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. on today, Friday, the 28th of June, for a staff briefing. Treasury Cashier counter will reopen for business at 10:30 a.m. following the briefing. Treasury Department apologizes for any inconvenience this may have caused. Okay, we're going to go a little distance away from home, but first of all, we should have Dr. Steve McField in the studio this morning with us at some point in time. I'm sure that there will be some delays as a result of the rain as well. And as you know, on Monday, the holiday, we will be celebrating Constitution Day here in the Cayman Islands, and we are going to talk about our Constitution. And those of you who have an interest in it, I would advise you to go to the Constitutional Secretariat's website. They have so many resources on there, so much information. You can read about the history our constitutional history as well. Some revealing things there that some of you may not know as well, and you may want to familiarize yourselves with our Constitution as well. But we will be talking about that with Dr. Steve McField as well this morning. What else do we have here? So we definitely will be sharing a lot of information about our Constitution. I was doing a whole lot of research again, and I get so excited when I start to research the history of the Cayman Islands. And so much that we think we know, or I should say in my case that I think I know, and there is so much to be learned as well from it. For instance, during my research, I was able to find reports from the Colonial Office. You may have heard me here on For the Record talk about the annual reports that were produced by government, and they were produced in booklet form. The late Miss Olive Miller was involved in that. Miss Patricia Ebanks, who was at one time the head of Government Information Service, all involved in that as well. I don't know if some departments still have kept some of those. I know when I was in immigration, we kept lots of them. I would imagine that the archives should have some. I don't know if the museum had some as well. But I came across the Colonial Office, that is the UK Colonial Office's annual reports on the Cayman Islands, and it has in parenthesis dependency of Jamaica, and we'll talk more about that as well, that terminology, because they use that terminology, but we shouldn't misconstrue what it means as a dependency of Jamaica. So I found for the years 1946 going up to the year 1955, I believe, and it was interesting because some of these documents for some reason were at the University of Illinois, and I'll have to see why. Maybe it was someone doing research and they posted it on there. But those of you sleuths out there, history sleuths and history buffs, if you get an opportunity, Google the Colonial Office annual reports. Found out so much. Do we know that in 1942 we had labor legislation in the Cayman Islands? There were minimum wage legislation in the Cayman Islands. There was legislation for trade unions in the Cayman Islands. So much information that I was able to glean. And I didn't have a whole lot of time because I wanted to watch, well, I was on there for several hours, but I interrupted all of that to watch the debate last night, which turned out to be sort of a disaster for Joe Biden. But if I were asked to give, and of course I won't be asked to give advice to the Democrats, I would say to them, don't panic at this point in time. You all need to rally around your president. There's a lot of chatter out there about whether or not he should be replaced. It is not as simple as it may sound as well, but they need to circle the wagons. Everyone out there, all of his spokespersons need to hit the airwaves and get out there and support their candidates. The Republicans do that. They do that even when their candidates is at fault, and they will defend them to the hilt, even though it is obvious, so clear and obvious that they are guilty of certain things. And they get out there, they circle the wagons. The Democrats need to do the same thing, and like some of the pundits out there say they need to stop their bedwetting and get out there and support their president. With that, we're going to take a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Since its early beginning, the Cayman Islands tourism product has targeted middle to upper class segments. In 1949, Benson Greenwald, a wealthy British visitor, began construction on the empty West Bay beach of the Galleon Beach Hotel with 12 rooms. Greenwald was instrumental in the passage of the Caymanian Hotel Aids Law of 1950, which provided exemptions from import duties and taxes for anyone building a hotel with more than 10 rooms. Along with the Galleon, the new law kick-started the development fury with Marin's Seaview Lodge and Pageant Beach Hotel. By 1960, there were 9 hotels, clubs, and guest houses in the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet. Because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN money transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
just in time for summer. It's the sizzling hot appliance sale at Brand Source Home Gallery. Save 25% off all appliances now until the end of June. That's 25% off on all appliances at Brand Source. Don't miss this opportunity to replace aging appliances and get 1 year plus warranty on new appliances. The sizzling hot appliance sale now until the end of June at Brand Source, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Call 623-5000 for details.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is raining out there. I will share with you later on the weather report as well. I'm sure that Paul would have shared it on the news. Miss April did the news this morning, but Paul would share the weather report as well. We have a call on WhatsApp. I'm going to take that call in a second. Just want to give some more birthday shout-outs here. We have happy birthday to my lovely wife, Francia Lloyd McLaughlin, coming from her husband, Errol, on her birthday, which was yesterday. So belated happy birthday to Francia Lloyd McLaughlin from her husband, Errol. We also have birthday greetings. Happy 20th birthday going out to Cameron Ebanks today. It is coming from his parents, Reese and Sasha, and also his sister, Jessie. Also from Nana, Miss Sharon Ebanks, and Papa Kenneth Ebanks. So Cameron, happy birthday to you. Happy 20th birthday to you. And also Sasha, the daughter and the sister and the granddaughter. Her birthday is on Tuesday, the 2nd of July. And so since Monday is a holiday and we won't have a For the Record show, wishing Sasha a happy birthday from her husband, Sasha. So I think I messed up some of that there before. Mother, wife, daughter-in-law. Her birthday on the 2nd of July, wishing her happy birthday, coming from her husband Reese, her son Cameron, and daughter Jessie as well. And they hope that she enjoys her day. Well, one way to make sure that she enjoys it is that you will be celebrating it with her, and you make sure that she has the best day in the world when her birthday comes on Tuesday as well. Not sure if she's planning on riding on Tuesday morning or not, but we'll talk about the bicycle ride later on as well. Do I have another birthday greeting before we go to the phones? Okay, no more. This is about, this person says, yes, all of the various Cayman Islands annual reports are always interesting and very informative. Our National Archive has the Colonial annual reports on the Cayman Islands from the 1920s through to when we started publishing our own. Very good to know, so I know where to go now. I don't necessarily have to go online for it. Let's grab the WhatsApp caller before we go to our 8 o'clock news caller. Good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yeah, OC, enjoying the read?
Well, yes. Good for the plants and everything else. Not good for driving out there, but we have to be grateful for what we have. When we ask for it, when we get it, we have to appreciate it in whatever form it comes.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Couple of weeks ago, we were saying it was so hot, we getting the rain, we complaining too. I not complaining at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's good for the crops,
Yep.
But OC, I looked at that debate last night, and I'm gonna tell you my opinion, and I'm a realist. Biden have ability, but he's not able. No, I mean, he failed the Democrats last night very bad. And Donald Trump last night, to me, that was the first time I see him acting like a gentleman. Because I tell you what, he said a lot of things was true.
You mean a gentleman
Number one,
liar?
about that border. Pardon?
I say you mean a gentleman liar.
Yeah. What I'm saying though, what he talked about the border is true. And what he talked about those wars are true. But I mean, Biden, the Democrats need to get somebody there to take over from him as quick as possible, or I'm afraid that Donald Trump will win this election again if he runs, because I felt very bad for Biden last night. I mean, he was missing. His eyes were shut. He forgot what he was saying. I mean, he failed bad last night. I feel very bad. I think he's up in age. He's 86, I think they said. And I could be wrong, but that's what they said last night.
He's 81, and Trump is 77.
Okay. But, yeah, I mean, I know he got a lot of pressure on him with his son court case and all that thing, but Kamala Harris better talk with him and the Democrat for him to step down, because I mean it was embarrassing last night for me as well, you know.
More than sufficient time to recover. More than sufficient time for him to recover. Election's not until November.
Anybody that saw that last night, I mean, they knew that Biden failed. He failed a lot.
Yeah,
there's
no denying that. You can't deny that.
Presentation. Yeah. Couple of weeks ago, I seen him doing a presentation, and he even like almost fell down. You know, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But the Democrats need to put in somebody there real quick if they want to win this election.
No need to panic. No need to panic at this stage. Caller, I want to thank you. Thank you very much for that, Paul. We have another caller, but we're going to have to take that caller after our 8 o'clock news, because it is now 7:59 and 34 seconds, folks. Please stay tuned. Don't change that dial. Listen to the news. Listen to the weather report. When we return, we will continue this conversation. For the record, we'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Whole grain crackers, nut butter on deck, canned and dried fruit, gotta keep that energy in check. Next on the list, you gotta have water. Gallon a day for our son and daughter.
What are you up to?
Just repeating my emergency checklist for hurricane season so I don't forget.
You could just read the Live Well blogs by Foster's and CG Brick K online at livewell.fosters.ky. The latest blog even outlines what you need to stay safe for hurricane season.
Live well, huh? Okay, I'll check, but only if you drop the next verse.
How about with Foster Supplies, you can handle the swells. Stay safe, stay ready, and always live well.
Yesterday,
today,
always and forever.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm April Cummings. A statement from the Progressives opposition takes aim at the current government. Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Joey Hughes, says he and his colleagues are deeply disappointed with what he describes as the government's, quote, absolute failure to make meaningful progress with the Regen Sustainable Waste Management Project. Mr. Hughes accuses the government of dithering and delay, failing to complete work on the financial close, leading to increased project costs. Regen aims to address the mountain of trash at the current landfill, converting it into a green space and building a state-of-the-art energy and recycling center. The project has been in the works since Mr. Hughes' party was at the helm of government. The deputy leader of the opposition, in his statement, cited a litany of concerns over the delays and called on government to, quote, come clean and advise the country at the next meeting of Parliament in July. Customs and Border Control says the latest changes to its customs online system will improve things for traders. Beginning mid-July, CBC says all duty relief waivers and concessions will be processed through a single window in Coles, which will be more efficient. CBC says the upgraded system will enhance the reliability and speed of duty relief application processing, ensuring that traders and importers can operate more smoothly. In order to ensure a smooth transition, CBC will be providing comprehensive online training on the new procedure throughout the month of July. You can find out more about visiting CBC's social media channels or by visiting their website at gov.ky/CBC. The Department of Education Services tells parents a big deadline for student registration for the 2024-2025 academic year is upon us. The standard student registration period closes on Sunday, the 30th of June. Parents and guardians who register their child or ward by this deadline will receive placement status updates by July 31st. DES also wants parents and guardians to know that if they submit an application after that deadline on June 30th, they could face delays in processing and potentially affect placement for the start of the school year. DES says if you need more information, you can visit their website at schools.edu.ky or give the department a call at 945-1199. And while we're on the subject of education, a special moment for youngsters at Theolin McCoy Primary School. CIGTV's Simon Boxall has more.
Family, friends, and teachers beamed with pride as Year 6 students at the Theolin McCoy Primary School walked across the stage to accept their school-leaving certificates and awards. The students, who will be moving on to high school, were presented with awards for excellence in areas such as mathematics, literacy, and sports. Congratulations to all the graduates.
Thank you, Simon. That is your local news at this hour. I'm April Cummings. Now to the BBC for stories making headlines around the world.
BBC News. Allies of President Biden are trying to contain the fallout from his faltering performance in last night's election debate. At times, Mr. Biden struggled to complete his sentences, while Donald Trump made a string of false or misleading claims. Democratic Party supporters have been discussing whether they should change their candidate. President Milei of Argentina has welcomed Parliament's approval of economic reforms that prompted mass protests. His efforts to control soaring inflation were passed in a late-night session after months of debate. Voters in Iran's presidential election are choosing between 4 candidates loyal to the supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. There's only one reformist on the ballot. A Japanese pharmaceutical firm says 76 more deaths are being investigated for a possible connection to a toxic batch of dietary supplements. The deaths of 4 people have already been tied to the products. Politicians across France are making a final push for votes ahead of the first round of parliamentary elections on Sunday. Campaigning is forbidden on Saturday. A Kenyan government spokesman has told the BBC that President Ruto's decision to withdraw a controversial finance bill after days of protests is a major setback. He said that without the legislation, which would have brought in new taxes, there would be a huge hole in Kenya's budget. An intergovernmental body that combats money laundering has added Monaco and Venezuela to its list of states subject to increased monitoring. More than 20 countries are now under observation by the Financial Action Task Force. Princess Anne, the sister of King Charles, has returned home after spending 5 nights in hospital. She was treated for concussion and minor head injuries. The details of the accident remain unclear, but it's thought the princess was hurt by a horse. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Boddentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Mango season, you gotta love it. The Cayman Islands National Museum is pleased to feature Lukia, the family-friendly Mango Fest at the museum, Saturday, July 6th from 4 to 8 p.m. Purchase mangoes and other products by local artisans and specialty vendors, local food, live music, mango peeling, and eating competition. Take in all the sweet and unique flavors of the long, round, Julie mango, and so many more. Lukia at the museum on the waterfront. Saturday, July 6th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Lukia is proudly sponsored by the Cayman Islands Department of Tourism.
Cayman, mark your calendars for the high-speed thrills of the third round of the 2024 C1 National Tour. Sunday, June 30th at South Sound Dock. Current division leaders Nathan McLean, Joshua Watler, Caden Green, and Ryan Dixon look to defend their top positions on the open waters. But the rest of the pack is on the attack. Gather the family and enjoy a fun-filled day of thrilling races, delicious food, and cool treats. Admission is free. Be there to catch all the action live with the Cayman Islands Watercraft Association. Round 3 of the 2024 C1 National Tour. Sunday, June 30th at South Sound Dock, starting at 11 a.m. Proudly sponsored by Car City, Cayman Islands Coast Guard, Cayman Islands Fire Service, Pepsi, Fast Signs, J&M Equipment, Ministry of Youth, Sports and Heritage, Party Animals, Sea Breeze Charters and Jet Ski Rentals, Verdant Isle Farm, Health City, Cayman Islands, National Logistics, Onshore IT, Ministry of Tourism and Ports, Radio Cayman, and Breeze FM.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning, Cayman. Let's briefly take a look at our latest weather brought to you by our friends at CG Britcay. Present temperature now 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Very much cloudy conditions with some rain. Winds are out of the southeast at 11 miles per hour. Relative humidity 89%. The barometric pressure is at 29.88 inches. Abundant moisture associated with a tropical wave just west of Grand Cayman continues to propagate towards the northwest, supporting periods of moderate to heavy thunder showers throughout the day. Showers are expected across all islands with higher risks of flooding likely for Grand Cayman. A decrease in cloudiness and showers are expected overnight as the tropical wave moves northwest towards the Yucatan Peninsula. Our forecast calls for cloudy to overcast skies with moderate to heavy thunder showers for Grand Cayman. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman can expect a 60% chance of showers and some thunder. A higher risk of flooding is likely for Grand Cayman. Temperatures will rise to the mid-80s. Winds will be east to southeast at 15 to 20 knots with higher gusts. Seas will be rough with wave heights of 4 to 6 feet. Small craft should exercise caution over the open waters. Later tonight, cloudy skies with a 60% chance of showers and some thunder, with a gradual decrease expected overnight. Temperatures will fall to the upper 70s. Winds will be east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts. Seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. Low tide is coming up in the next hour at 9:36. It's going to be high at 4:10 this afternoon and low again at 10:04 tonight. The outlook is for light to moderate winds and seas with isolated showers through Monday morning. And that's a look at your weather for this Friday and the weekend. Keep it right here on Radio Cayman.
We were set to battle, and your Aunt Angie was leading the pack when...
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with car damage?
Oh, right. Well, long story long. I took down the assassins and wound up inventing a new form of mixed martial arts. I became an international champion until one sore loser karate kicked my car. But I was covered with CG.
Covered for malicious damage and more. CG Britcay. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Brit K, where people come first.
Drinking water is critical after a storm. Your emergency kit should include a 5-day supply of water. That's 1 gallon of water per person per day. Store additional water for those with special needs, such as nursing mothers, young children, or people with illnesses. Keep drinking water in clean, non-corrosive, tightly covered containers. For more useful hurricane preparedness tips, visit the Water Authority's website at www.waterauthority.ky or follow us on social media.
As part of a man's natural circadian rhythm, testosterone levels rise during sleep. Studies have shown that sleep deprivation can cause a significant decrease in testosterone production. If that was not bad enough, it can also affect brain function, memory, and mood. Many factors can cause poor sleep, including conditions like sleep apnea. Making responsible nighttime decisions, including removing screen time, late night eating, minimizing alcohol, and speaking with a physician can improve your sleep schedule.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
All right, so taking a look at the traffic at the moment. Of course, looking at Huldah Avenue, traffic seems to be flowing smoothly into that area towards the roundabouts, and of course continuing on and getting to the Butterfield roundabout, similar with some traffic in that area, some traffic coming off the Esterly Tibbets, and of course traffic flowing in the northward directions towards Godfrey Nixon Way and into Eastern Avenue. Southern Road, of course, taking in the influx of traffic. But, of course, looking at Bobby Thompson Way, we have a bit of traffic movement there, similar along Crew Road and the Linford Pearson, as most of Cayman living in the eastern districts are coming in. West Bay Road, we do see some traffic flowing in smoothly into the Georgetown area, similar heading back into the West Bay area. And, of course, Shannon Road, of course, back at there, we do see traffic flowing smoothly into the Seafarers Way as well. South Church Street, North Church Street, West Bay Road. Traffic is flowing smoothly this morning time. Keep it locked right here on your Radio Cayman for more great music. And of course, coming up For the Record.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We had a little technical glitch there, but we are on air. If you're having any difficulty hearing us, or what I'd like you to do is indicate that you're hearing us on air. Paul, that shouldn't be a problem. They should be hearing us as well. Okay. So I have another birthday shout out here before I introduce Dr. McField, who's in the studio. This person says they would like to send an early happy birthday greetings to their loving mother, Miss Ruth James, who celebrates her birthday tomorrow on the 29th of June. These greetings coming from your children, wishing you God's richest blessings. Always, we love you. And then from the grandchildren and great-grandchildren as well, wishing their loving grandma, Miss Ruth James, a happy birthday tomorrow, the 29th of June. Grandma, we love you, and thank you for all that you do for us. May God continue to bless you always. Then they also want Person wants to send happy birthday greetings to Derek Ebanks. Derek will be celebrating his 17th birthday on Sunday, the 30th of June. And the advanced birthday greetings are coming from Grandma, Miss Ruth James, auntie, uncles, cousins, wishing Derek all of God's blessings on his special day as well. I think I have covered all of them. So, Doc, good morning. Wet out there again this morning, but glad that you made it in. When you were driving in, how was it? You usually come in pretty early, right?
I usually come in around between 5 and 5:30 in the morning. But it was still wet then, and of course I was taking my time. But you know how it is on the roads. People overtaking you and speeding, and
no matter how early you're on the road, there's somebody out there.
Out there, yes, yes. So, and good morning to all your all your listeners for the record land, and all the people who in the Cayman diaspora, and all the people who listen to you Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. It's good to be back. This is the first time I've been on all week.
That's true. Yeah. Yes. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Yes. It must be a good sign.
They probably think, Doc must be running for office. Yeah. He's getting on there before the candidates.
Yes.
I think we have a couple of callers, so why don't we just grab the callers? Yes. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O'Connell.
Good morning, sir. How are you? Enjoying the rain?
Okay. Of course.
Yes.
And good morning to Dr.
Good morning, sir.
Yes. Concerning when the government was not this government, the government just before this one with Johnson. They were trying to make a law concerning sexual harassment in the workplace.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And at that same time, a lady who works in the government building was approached by a member of the Legislative Assembly. And he disrespected her verbally by making sexual advances towards her. And 2 weeks ago now, Thursday night, in West Bay on Watercoast Road, a member of the Legislative Assembly was standing with a handful of $50 bills. And he was paying people to feel his private parts.
Was it reported to the police?
I don't know. But I'm making it known here on this radio this morning. And it's a disgrace. We have members of the Legislative Assembly acting in the way that they do and are still working in that government building.
Mm-hmm. Caller, those are some serious,
yes,
allegations. And for it to be said publicly, but yet no one chose to report it to the police. What do we expect to get out of it if it isn't reported to the police? How are we to address this? How are we to prevent it from occurring again?
Well, you'll have to ask those people who work in the government building that.
No, I'm not talking about the one in the government building. I'm talking about the one that on Watercourse Road that you're talking about.
Well, I really don't have any more to say about that.
But you said you said it.
Yes, you saw it. You saw that.
You introduced it. So
yes.
Either I don't know if you saw it or this is secondhand information that you received or what. But you raised it.
Yes, it's facts. It's facts, what I'm saying.
There are facts and there are facts.
Yes.
Yes, well, I'm just making it known, and it's a disgrace that the Cayman Islands have these types of people as members of the Legislative Assembly and acting in this way. It's a disgrace. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller, for that as well. But again, just to simply say it publicly, it achieves absolutely nothing if it is so, because there are ways to report it.
Yes, and especially if you have witnessed an offense, a criminal offense being committed, you have a duty to report it to the police.
And if you haven't witnessed it, then you have to be careful about how you put it out, especially out in the public domain.
Because there are laws against that.
Okay, let's grab the next caller. Caller, good morning. We welcome that caller, to call back as well. So, Doc, so many things happening. 4th of July.
Yes.
Elections in
March and mid-April. In April next year.
Yeah, 4th of July in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
In France this weekend as well.
Yes.
But what is interesting with the situation in France is that while they will be, voting for their legislature, and it seems as if the far-right party, the Le Pen party, will have the most seats, but won't have an outright majority, so it has to be, ruled with a coalition. She has said that there's I think he's 28-year-old who she wants to be the prime minister.
Yes.
What is interesting, the president, Macron, his term goes up until 2027. So he doesn't have to run.
Yes.
But for their parliament, or I forget what it is called, those are where the elections and the local elections, are taking place. So a lot of people have criticized Macron for calling the snap election that he did. But it'll be interesting to see what happens in France. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the UK. I'm particularly anxious if Labour takes control with a coalition. Otherwise, David Lammy, he is slated to become the Foreign Secretary.
Yes.
Now, Conservatives, they do have one now in James Cleverly is.
Cleverly, yes.
Yeah, I think is he the Foreign Secretary, or is it David Cameron?
David Cameron is the Foreign Secretary, but David Cameron is not in the Labour Party.
Right, yeah.
And he's not in he's not been elected in the legislature. He's from the House of Lords.
Yes.
So his role is really limited of what he can, where he can be. He can say things, but they don't have the impact as if he was part of the Conservative government and had been an elected member of Parliament.
But I'm excited about David Lammy because he comes, with, really, really good credentials. Lived in the United States, was at Harvard Law School, and of course he's of Guyanese descent as well. I believe we have two callers. Let's grab the callers. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you, sir?
I am good, my friend. I'm good. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I am good. I hope I beat the mighty Lloyd Graham this morning. I hope I get to call before him.
You did.
Well, that's good. That's the first. That's the first. That the words that that gentleman was using there just now, that's nothing new in our system. That's been going on from darker days. From the I know for certain from immigration and customs, when immigration customs was in charge of that body, what they were called immigration customs. That's been happening even in that department here on the block as well. So it ain't nothing new. That's not nothing new. And you always find that you find in the United States, you find in throughout the world with this corruption, with people doing these things, other government entities and politicians and all these kind of things. It just has to come to an end, but who got bring it to an end is the question. But that is not what I want to talk about, OC. I'm trying to get a handle and a grip on where this country, these islands are going with the infrastructure of building for foreign entities coming into our islands, especially here on the Brock. Now, we have an extension that's going on to that multipurpose building up here on the Brock, and I keep pondering on that because what I am getting from that is this, and I want you to understand it clearly. What I'm trying to say is when that building is finished, the extensions, those extensions got to be used for multiple purposes, storing, housing of people, foreign companies coming into work, especially, and so forth. Mm-hmm. But it also hinders, this is the problem that people don't see and don't understand. It hinders the hotels from making businesses when those people come around. Let's take, for instance, when the sports body of FIFA bring soccer players to the island, that means that these hotels will not get no more business of the players being in the hotels. They'll be housed at this facility. It's stopping the locals from making business, and the people are blinded and don't see what's going on. I would like for the people to open their eyes and understand the stupidity behind this and try to see if they can put themselves together and realize before we get out of hand that we can't feed our own selves. And in other words, what they're doing there makes absolutely no sense. It makes absolutely no sense because after the school is erected and completed, mm-hmm. those extensions will still be there, and they will remain there for further development of foreign companies coming into the island. That is a problem, and it will remain a problem until someone stand up. Like what I always tell the people, if we don't be the David to stand up against the Goliath, we always fall.
Mm-hmm. But caller, what do we say to all of those persons who say government is always spending money and in this particular case, if those units then are available for government when the construction is over, doesn't that then make the persons who criticize government for spending a whole lot of money, make them feel good that at least the money that they would be spending in the hotels, that government has that to direct it to other areas that may be needed?
But that is the point, OC. It took them 30-something years in order for them to do this, and it took them 30-something years without helping the people. And the people need to realize that they're getting help not from the government side. The most help that coming to the people of the Cayman Islands, if you ask me, is coming from the opposition side. They are the ones that seeking help for the elderly. They're the ones that seeking help for the people to receive their proper pension. Everything is coming from the opposite side and not from the government side that with the power. And it is sad to know that we have people in this kind of state that all they're building for is fame for themselves, that they can reflect back and say that they did this and it's not benefiting the people. Absolutely no way. Because I was speaking to one young man some days ago that he is tired of putting in application forms in public work department in order to try to get a job. I have quit my job now. This guy is a heavy equipment operator, and they just won't hire him because they're hiring foreigners into the system over him. So it boils right down to the back of it. Who are we building for? Who are we building for? We're knocking our own people down off their feet in order for others to come in and take over and do as they please. It should not be. OC, it should not be.
Got you. Got you.
Anyway, you gentlemen have a good day. And
Thank you.
I'll talk on it again sometime.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you very much. Paul, we still have another caller on hold. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we will take that caller. Folks, don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record with Dr. Steve McField will continue after this short commercial break.
The 23rd Annual Talent Exposition of the Arts, Tranquility, is here. Presented by the New Self-Help Foundation, Sunday, June 30th at the Harkwell Theater. Awesome performances by Rico Rolando.
Here we go again, there's something in this water.
Dream Chasers, Radiance Dance Studio, UCCI Dance Company, Centerpoint Dance Studio, Cayman National Dance Company, and more. Hosted by Anika Connolly and Lloyd Barker. Part of the proceeds from the Talent Exposition will go to support the training program of the arts. Tickets are available from the #1 shoe shop and Winner's Circle Sports. Prepaid tickets $15 or $20 at the gate. The 2024 Talent Exposition of the Arts, Tranquility, Sunday, 30th June at the Harkwell Theater. Gates open at 5. Show starts at 6. Get your tickets today. Introducing the new Shoreline iMap. Discover over 300 plus public shoreline access points in the Cayman Islands by using a new digital interactive map of all the public access pathways and beaches. Test out the new Shoreline iMap today and get walking or driving directions, see 360-degree street views, and find out what amenities are available at any shoreline access point found on the iMap. Dive into a world of coastal beauty and adventure. Use the Shoreline iMap today by visiting gov.ky/shoreline. Presented by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers, a compounding story.
I don't think people realize how pain creeps into your life. It has a way of robbing your strength. I really don't like taking prescription medication orally.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. They understand.
When it comes to compounded medication, it's personal. So whenever there's a problem with some medication or treatments that's not working right, then a physician will call me and say, hey, they're having bad side effects from this medication.
Compounding pain cream changed the game. Made special for me. Significant pain relief in the form of a cream. That is a new experience for me.
It's changed his life.
It worked.
Ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about compounding at West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Call 914-6449.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet. Because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up on heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com. Stay ahead with Total Health for all your healthcare needs. Their state-of-the-art facility offers specialist consultations, diabetes and weight loss, women and child, ophthalmology, ENT, dental, orthopedics, physiotherapy, on-site laboratory, imaging, and pharmacy all under one roof. Total Health also provides comprehensive health checks for women, children, men, and senior citizens. Conveniently located in the Grand Pavilion on 7 Mile Beach Corridor. Experience a new era of preventive care in the Cayman Islands with Total Health. Because everyone deserves healthier living. Visit totalhealth.ky today and empower your well-being.
This is For the Record.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We have two callers on hold, Doc. I don't know when we're going to get to Constitution Day, but hopefully we'll get there. But as long as the calls keep coming in, we're going to accommodate them as well. Two callers. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. I just want to go back to what, not this last caller, but the previous caller was talking about. I have a question. Was the sexual harassment bill passed? Is there sexual harassment legislation, laws?
I would have to check to see. Let me see what I can find in the meantime. You can continue talking if you wish.
Also, the code of conduct that the former Premier Panton put in place, was that something that was written in law as well, or that was just something that he put in place?
That was for his cabinet members.
That was the code of conduct was for legislative members,
yeah.
But that has not come into force. There's no code of there's no code of conduct yet.
Okay,
in Cayman Islands.
That's very concerning to me that there's no code of conduct for the members that we elect. That's one, and ask yourself why they don't want it. And two, the sexual harassment bill, if that wasn't passed, I have the same question. Why don't they want it? And I just have one more comment before I go. Yes, I agree. If you see something like he allegedly saw or knew of, that should be reported to the police. However,
as a citizen, you have
100% report it to the police. However, I do understand why people won't want to report it or why they feel like it makes no sense. Because how many times can one person break the law, commit offenses, be reported, be arrested, and get nothing for it? Nothing. Because what he got was a slap on the wrist. So I can understand. Again, I don't agree with it. And if it was me, I would have called the police. But I would have also called the radio and shamed him on the radio as well. Because I can understand why people don't want to report it. Thank you.
Okay, caller, before you go, I found on here there's a sexual harassment bill 2023. And the details of that says Sexual Harassment Bill 2023 as a standalone piece of legislation basically seeks to make available an explicit law and procedures to aid victims, ensure perpetrators are held accountable, and to generally address this societal problem which can limit a person's ability to feel safe, secure, and productive while navigating the tasks and activities of daily life. So I have to do some more research to see whether or not it actually became law.
Thank you.
Okay.
I would appreciate that, but I highly doubt it. Because
Okay.
there's a reason they don't want it in there. There's a reason they don't want it in there.
I will try to update our listeners, and if you continue to listen, we'll try to find out more about it as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye. Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Okay, that call dropped. Doc, over to you.
Okay, now let me see how I get my... I'm looking at the 1946 Cayman Islands reports, colonial reports that we send every year to the Colonial office. And it says here that the published date was, it's so fine. Published by Her Majesty's Stationery Office, 1946 to the Colonial reports, annual reports on the Cayman Islands dependency of Jamaica. It says 1946 to 1958. And then it says here.
Yeah, I'm going to get more. I'm going to get more a better version of that for you, so that we can share that with our audience. Why don't we try to grab another caller before we go to our commercial break? Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record. You may want to turn your radio down. We're hearing an echo from you.
Hello?
Yeah, good morning.
Hi, good morning. He said there was one caller before me. Good morning.
Yeah, we lost that caller. Good morning there.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify that the sexual harassment bill isn't law yet.
Okay.
I did a personal show on my talk show about this particular legislation and kind of broke it down and went into, nitpick it apart and tried to give a better explanation of what it was about. And of course, there was public consultation about it.
Mm-hmm.
I gave my feedback, but no, it's not law yet. But I have made to understand that our government has revisited it, and they have not deserted it. And there's no word yet on what's definitely happening. But my understanding is that they have revisited it recently, and they have not abandoned it. So let's keep our fingers crossed and hope that something comes out, in the next few months or by time election rolls around, because this is a very important piece of legislation. I think they, hopefully they're trying to improve on it after public consultation, which is what they usually do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm seeing an article here, caller, also by the Cayman Compass. This article was written, trying to see the March the 13th, 2024. And it says former Premier Wayne Patton has labeled government's inability to implement a new anti-sexual harassment law as an, and I quote, epic failure. Despite having a record number of female MPs and being led by a woman, he said the new administration had failed to make the legislation a priority. Right. The Newlands MP, who also had responsibility for gender affairs before he was toppled as premier, unveiled a fresh draft of the long-discussed legislation in March of 2023. More than 12 months later, the bill has yet to be published, and there is no word on if or when it may go in Parliament for debate. Patton claimed it was ready to go in November. Current government ministers did not respond to repeated requests from the Compass over the past week for a timeline on the bill, which has been in the works in various forms now for nearly 20 years. It was first proposed by the Business and Professional Women's Club in 2005 after the group highlighted stalking and sexual harassment as a major issue facing women in Cayman. And Patton promised to resurrect it in 2021 following a Compass project which demonstrated that sexual harassment is extremely common and chronically underreported in the Cayman Islands. But despite 2 rounds of extensive consultations, Patton was unable to get the legislation through during his truncated tenure as leader. Then there's a part on there talking about the bill moving to the next stage. It's a pretty long article. I would just encourage everyone to go Google it. Compass article, sexual harassment bill delays dubbed epic failure.
Mr. Connor, in all fairness, I spoke to Mr. Patton back when he was the premier, and I know he was very keen on getting this legislation passed. Personally, and he did voice it in the Parliament about this particular legislation and landlord and tenancies legislation. It seemed like everyone was on board at that time. We haven't heard anything since that. I don't know how it works, particularly whether, some were for it and some were against it, but we know social issues are always the last issues that are pushed and passed through Parliament for some reason. Anything that affects society in these manners are usually left to the end of the line. But I haven't, in all honesty, I haven't spoken to anyone in government or Parliament or anything like that, but I got wind that they had revisited it a few weeks ago. I'm not sure what the outcome was or anything. I didn't reach out to anyone to find out.
Mm-hmm.
But I also repeated my show last Monday about this particular bill, and so we're hoping that as it comes back up to the public forefront and people start expressing interest in it again, like I said, that show re-aired last Monday, and today's show, I hope callers continue to call in about it and reach out to their MPs to remind them that we want this legislation out. It's a very tricky legislation because I've myself found some issues that were missing, that there wasn't clear and distinct identification of what sexual harassment was, and some other things that I highlighted. So I am just going to call the bluff and think that the government is working on it, and hoping that it will be something that they put on their agenda immediately, especially hearing the discussion on the show this morning, because many of them listen to your show. And so I encourage callers to continue calling in and talking about it, and also everyone to reach out to their MPs to remind them that we want this legislation to be passed. I don't think it's on the next agenda. They haven't. I don't think they've released the agenda yet for the next sitting. But we definitely want it to be passed very soon.
Okay.
But caller, you say there were some definitions that were not clear. It shouldn't take long for the legal departments to come back to them with definitions that they can accept. It seems to me that even though the government had the majority, they could not get their majority to agree on the bill, and therefore that's the reason why they didn't bring it down to Parliament, because they know that the bill would have failed, and that's one of the reasons why. It's probably failed from in their caucus. People in their caucus did not agree with it, but that's not the only thing. Also, the electoral boundary report that was given for them last year, and that is very, very important. That is mandated under the Constitution, Section 89 and 90 of the Constitution. That is mandated every 8 years, and recommendations have to go to the legislature, to the Parliament, and that has been done since last July, and that's not coming either. And also, we've been waiting now some. Was it 15 years, 16 years since the Constitution since the new Constitution order came into effect in 2009, and as you know, the Constitution establishes and underpins the political system in which we work, in which we are governed, and it creates and defines the power of government, and defines how people should the rights of people versus the rights of the government. And I'm talking about Section 119 of the Constitution, where the Constitution made a declaration to the government that says there shall be district councils in every electoral districts that would be advising the members of Parliament from those districts, and that has not been done. So it seems to me that it's up to the Caymanian people to decide whether they want to keep moving the country like this backwards, 1 foot forward and 2 foot backwards, whether they want to keep that forever, because it seems to me that we're not really developing our governmental system.
Caller, I want to thank you. Thank you very much for that. We're 10 minutes.
I just wanted to say one quick.
Very quickly, please.
To Mr. McField is, every administration has the authority to pass what they want to pass within reason. And I think that, like I said, social issues are always taking the back burner. Anything that affects the people on a whole. We see most ministers will deal with to issues that address that fall under their ministry, not so much issues that are social and fall under to collectively affect the whole Cayman Islands. And I think that's what's been happening here, as it always happens with every administration. So I'll just leave that and hope other callers will call in and talk about this issue a bit more.
Thank you very much, caller. We have another caller on hold, but we have to take the long overdue commercial break. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone, and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Just in time for summer, it's the Sizzling Hot Appliance Sale at Brand Source Home Gallery. Save 25% off all appliances now until the end of June. That's 25% off on all appliances at Brand Source. Don't miss this opportunity to replace aging appliances and get 1 year plus warranty on new appliances. The Sizzling Hot Appliance Sale now until the end of June at Brand Source, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Call 623-5000 for details.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We have one caller on hold. Very quickly, I want to read this. This person has written and said, I remember this article on the 13th regarding public humiliation, not defending sexual harassment, to be clear. And they have sent something and circled a paragraph that says, some people believe that you can only learn from your mistakes if you're embarrassed by them, not realizing that posting someone's personal mistakes publicly doesn't help. In fact, it has the biggest negative impact of all. When someone uses their platform to shame others or share private information. And I just want to say, and that is why I was very careful and guarded in terms, and the caller, of course, didn't call names, spoke about the district, and he spoke about the gender of the individual, but there are more. We have one female, 3 male members of parliament in West Bay. So, but again, I don't think that a talk show is a platform for something like that to be called. Call the authorities.
Yes,
call
go to the police.
And if you're only hearing it from someone, then direct them to who you heard it from, if they're the main source and they're the witnesses for it as well. Let's grab the next caller before we go to our headline news at 9 o'clock. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello,
OC, Mr. McField, good morning to both of you.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
Hope all is well. I'm enjoying the rain down West Bay. It's wonderful. I just can't take the leg that turned it, so I hope he don't send that part for me. But
Okay.
I can handle the rain.
Sure.
Handle the rain. Thank the Lord. A couple of bullfrogs jumping all over the place, but we'll survive that part. I have a question to ask. I guess Mr. McField will probably direct me. Can you tell me if there is any lawyer on the Cayman Islands that is dealing with constitutional issues? Is there any lawyer that we can go to get some information on a constitution issue?
I don't know. I don't know what other lawyers practice, and quite frankly, I wouldn't be advocating for other lawyers publicly on the radio.
I mean, if you deal with it, it's fine. I just want if you can.
No, it's not a question whether I deal with it. I don't think it's an appropriate answer for me. I think what you need to do is, I don't know of any other lawyers who deal with constitutional cases. I think that you probably ought to call the Law Society and get that information from them. I don't think it's right for you to ask me about what other lawyers do.
I was trying to say if you could assist me on where I could go.
That would be the same thing. I would be recommending another lawyer to you, and that would be a professional recommendation, and I would have to take responsibility for that.
Saying, for instance, you might be a criminal lawyer, but you don't deal with constitution, but you might be able to say, well, go to Tom Rock, because Tom Rock, this is his profession. As lawyers, you can, as I say, if it's a consultation or,
I don't think lawyers do that. I don't know that. I am not part of that sort of business in the profession. I think that you ought to call one of the law societies, one of the law organizations, and ask them, and they will point you to the lawyers who they believe are capable of bringing constitutional cases.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, because I didn't know where to go. That's why I was asking if you could direct me. If I could come to you, it's fine. I don't have a problem. As far as I'm concerned, you do very good handling the Constitution. So I didn't know, maybe you was in that profession to deal with a constitutional matter, or that I have a matter for constitutions, and I wanted to know where I need to go. To where anybody.
Well, first, I wouldn't be advertising my own self on the radio.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much, caller. Folks.
Okay, I understand. Okay.
Thank you very much, folks. Top of the hour, headline news. When we return, the conversation will continue. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
We are Radio Cayman.
Covering Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and Grand Cayman.
1 in a million. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With your latest headlines, I'm April Cummings. Monday is a public holiday in the Cayman Islands, the observance of Constitution Day. And the Health Services Authority says outpatient clinics and district health centers across all 3 islands will be closed for the holiday, reopening on Tuesday. Accident and emergency will be open as usual, and then urgent care will be open on Monday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. The Smith Road and Georgetown Pharmacy locations will also be open, their hours 9 to 5. In international headlines, families of the 346 people who died in 2 crashes of Boeing 737 MAX jetliners are waiting to hear if the Justice Department will prosecute the U.S. aerospace company. In both the October 2018 crash in Indonesia and the March 2019 crash in Ethiopia, software pitched the planes nose down based on faulty readings from a single sensor. A measure of prices that is closely tracked by the U.S. Federal Reserve suggests that inflation pressures in the U.S. economy are continuing to ease. Today, a Commerce Department report showed that consumer prices were flat from April to May, the mildest such performance in more than 4 years. Measured from a year earlier, prices rose 2.6% last month, slightly less than April. The latest figures will likely be welcomed by the Fed's policymakers, who have said they need to feel confident that inflation is slowing sustainably toward their 2% target before they'd start cutting interest rates. Rate cuts by the Fed, which most economists speculate could occur in September, would lead eventually to lower borrowing rates for consumers and businesses. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
HSA's Urgent Care Clinic is now open 7 days per week to serve you better. Visit our dedicated team at Urgent Care Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and weekends and public holidays, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. No appointment necessary. If you are experiencing non-life-threatening symptoms and conditions such as the cold and flu, sprains and cuts, earaches, nausea and vomiting, visit Urgent Care's walk-in clinic at the main entrance of the Georgetown Hospital, now open every day. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We still have a caller on hold. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Good morning, Mr. O.C.
Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
Oh, I'm very well, thank you. And good morning, Dr. Steve.
Good morning, ma'am.
Alice May. O.C., I sent you a WhatsApp
yes.
with an article. Did you get that? And I thought that's such an important topic that you and Dr. Steve may have time want to look at that a little bit about discarding all of these law books, etc.
Well, I got a call on Wednesday morning as well. Unfortunately, I was in a board meeting, and I got in touch with Dr. McField and Lord Graham, and they happened to go out there. So I'll let you and Dr. McField, talk about it, and he can relate his reaction to what he saw out there, Doc.
All right. Well, I was a little bit upset. This is the only thing
he was too.
Say.
Yes, ma'am. I got a call from Lord Graham, and he told me that they were dumping taking law books to the dump to burn them, or to dump them, and I just sort of ignored it as being a nonsensical message. And then I went back to work, and then he called me again, and says to me that they're under the canopy by the old folks' home, and I said, why are you doing there? He says, well, they are going to take them down by the museum. They're going to instead of dumping them, they are going to take them down by the museum to try to store some of them, and that they were under the canopy to keep them from getting wet out of the rain, because the museum storage had no place so that they could dodge out of the rain. You should come down there. And Miss Alice, I went down there. I drove down there, and I just could not fathom what I saw. There was a huge truck load of books, and that they were dumping in the dump from the law school, because the law school was moving for different. So I says, well, usually when an organization like law schools and things move, they carry the library with them, because the library is the history of how subjects develop. And so forth. And I stood there in disbelief of who could have given that decision to dump all of those books. And I'm sure that that those books are very valuable, even if some of the things that contain in the books are not up to date today. They're still relevant to see how that particular subject came to be. And I tried to say as much as I could. I was interested, Miss Alice May, and you being, I would say, the top paralegal person in Cayman Islands. I was trying to get a copy, a whole set of the appeal cases, because I don't have those in my office. And I got about maybe 5-6 volumes of appeal cases. All of those books, appeal cases, they dump all of the all of the old reference and reports. They dump so many relevant books that you could use as reference for young people to teach them the law and so forth. They were dumping them. They were dumping them. And the Dawes, Solomon, and those other people from the museum decided to take them and store them in the museum storage. So
yes,
it seems
there's also the National Archives. My goodness.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's tragic to think. I mean, our law school are supposed to be educating our people.
Well,
certainly not discarding our history and the historical law books upon which all of the present day, everything follows. It's a link. I can't understand it.
Because you understand how you understand, especially Miss Alice Miko, a law library. The law today is like this, but then in order to understand how it works, you go back to its origin, how it developed down through the ages. That's how they taught me in law school. And I just couldn't believe that.
School, but I had the next best thing. Worked in a law firm for 46 years.
Well, ma'am.
Whenever we moved offices, our library went with us.
Yes, ma'am. Well, some of the best people in the law didn't go to law school. Abraham Lincoln didn't attend law school, and ma'am, I just couldn't believe that. I could only say. And I'll say it publicly. What I say it private to those people, perhaps they will sell another set to the law library, and it seems to be it's a question of money.
Yeah, so we got money, we can buy more. Right away.
Yes. So.
Oh my goodness! No, that was most disturbing to read that article online first thing this morning.
Yes, ma'am.
I said, oh my goodness! Rather than call, let me copy this and send it to OC, and I know between the two of you, you'd look into it if you didn't already know.
Yes,
ma'am.
Well,
that's a crying shame, whoever made that decision and from where the directions or instructions may have come. It's tragic. Thank you very much, Dr. Steve.
Thank you, ma'am.
We have to keep fighting for so many different issues in our little country, but we cannot give up. You've got to be brave enough to speak out, whether or not there's any positive result from things, but at least we must try. Thank you. God bless, and all of you keep safe in this rainy weather.
Well, at least people like you and I and Mr. For the Record OC and a few people are carrying out that standard in Cayman. We speak out and we stand up, and we're not just lying down. Even if it doesn't give us results, it might give us results for our grandchildren in the future.
Exactly, because I don't think that whoever is not willing to stand up and speak out for what is correct, that means we don't have the right to complain.
That's
if we
right.
don't exercise the right to speak up.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. God bless. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much,
Bye.
Alice May as well. Bye-bye. Okay, let's see. So this person has written in and said that they understand that the head of the Public Works Department in the BRAC is a new Caymanian. So what do we expect? That they will probably not be interested in hiring generational Caymanians. Also, they go on to say, also, I wonder why the hurricane shelter in the BRAC that was built a few years ago can't be used to house the construction workers for the BRAC school. Well, if the construction work is being done during hurricane season, you would have to move people out.
Yes.
And I believe that the amenities that you would find in a housing complex for workers are completely different than what you would find in a hurricane shelter, because a hurricane shelter is usually designed for you to stay for a limited period
A day or two.
of times. Yep. And to have a cot or a blanket or something like that, on the floor as well. But I get it. I hear what the writer is saying, and Brackers, you have to fight for what it is that you want. You have two capable representatives. You have one representative who is the most powerful politician
in the Caribbean,
in the Cayman Islands, at this point in time. And she is extremely passionate about her Cayman Brac. Now, as a politician, you can't please everyone, and you're going to have your supporters and you're going to have your detractors, as well. But personally, I can't say that the Premier, Honorable Juliana O'Connor Conley, isn't looking out for her people in the Brac.
I think
no one can say that.
I wish she was in my constituency.
Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Paul, we have another caller. 3 callers.
Wow.
So we're going to grab one caller now, go to a commercial break, and come back to the other 2 callers. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC. Good morning, Dr. McField.
Good morning, Minister. How are you?
I am blessed. Thank you so much. Getting a little bit wet with all the rain, but, it's blessings from above, so I got to be grateful.
Sure.
I just want to say, first off, thank you for your continued discussions on these very important matters. Your voices are always necessary for any analysis on issues that we deal with. I'm mainly calling this morning to talk about the weather coming up.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, Georgetown Central has a lot of low-lying areas that last rain made a bit of a problem for us. And there's some weather patterns that are coming up. So I just want my people to be on high alert. Remember about any kind of maintenance that you can do in your area, about your dreams. Also, potential hurricane season. You got to know where your hurricane shelters are. Remember that little bit of rain, even though it was annoying, gave us a little snapshot into whether or not you need to go to a shelter, not necessarily from the winds. Your house may be strong and you feel comfortable, but the flooding is also becoming a very severe thing. We had about 4 homes recorded in my constituency where the water went into their home, and that was with no wind. So I want us to be mindful of that, and I think the whole country should be paying close attention to the weather patterns. I mean, this amount of rain that we've been having over the last 3 weeks to a month now is just so much, and the country is saturated with water. So if you have any severe weather, the repercussions of all that water could be that severe. So I want us to be mindful of that. But also, thank you so much for enlightening a little bit about the Cayman Brac situation, because though I understand that people can have reservations about what it can do or what it can't do in respect to that development.
Mm-hmm.
You're right to say that the development of those pre-accommodations before the school being built, not going to be something that would take away from the hotel product. Obviously, I'm commenting from a tourism minister perspective, and we wouldn't want to be developing something to take away business from the tourism sector in Cayman Brac.
Right.
There are housing locations, and it wouldn't be where people are coming down to stay there for tourism-related matters. And like you also said, you're between a catch-22. You say government needs to save money, so if there's an opportunity for them to do that, then they say that's wrong. But if you go ahead and spend money, large amounts of money at a hotel, then they say you're spending too much money. So we got to be mindful that the government is trying its best to savings as well as being practical, and these accommodations could be used for other things that are beneficial for the Brac people specifically. So just thought I'd put that in context, but mainly for my constituents of Georgetown Central and the Greater Cayman Islands, please be vigilant, pay attention to your weather patterns, and if you haven't stocked up on your supplies, start to do so now, please, 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 please. Prevention is always better than cure. All right, God bless you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Minister. Have a great weekend and a happy Constitution Day as well. We're going to take a commercial.
Dr. McField, I know I haven't spoken to you in a
Well,
while.
Minister,
Sorry, sir.
Minister, I just have a few things I would like to say. Flooding in low-lying areas in Georgetown or Prospect is a thing that it's not going to just go away. Anytime we have a huge rain or a threat of hurricane, we're going to have flooding. And so the government has to find a way to permanently solve that problem.
Well,
and one of the ways you can find is that you can locate those areas where the flooding takes place, where people are threatened, and you can put pump.
Hazard management has those.
Yeah, but they
areas now they know where they are.
Well, then so you can put pumping. You can put pumping stations there. Drains are not going to solve the problem. You need to put pumping stations that comes on automatically when the water gets to a certain level. That's what you need to do.
Okay, Minister, very quickly.
I would love to stay on after the break because I want to comment on that comment, and so I'm happy to take the break.
Well, go very quickly because we have two other callers on hold.
Okay, fair enough. So I agree with Dr. McField heavily. Vertical drains is not going to be the solution because we are a very flat jurisdiction. So we do need to have either culvert systems engineering, gully systems engineering, holding ponds of water, as well as pumping systems. And I'm going to be totally honest with you. This is where this discussion about DOE and the environmental movement and what you can and cannot do is very frustrating for me because you remember when I was in opposition, I brought a motion about a proper drainage system plan for the Cayman Islands because of flooding. And you see culverts like the ones in South Sound. We had 3 of them, and 2 of them are blocked off now. And mainly because of people protesting, they're saying they shouldn't have the water on land flowing out to the sea, when that was a natural way of how we alleviated water from off the land before much of the development. So this viewpoint that the water can't go out to the sea is frustrating because you're saying the environment is more important than the people's lives and the quality of life. And the sea is a natural filter. I mean, it's 3/4 of the earth full of salt. And if that doesn't filter any kind of potential or perceived damages from rainwater runoff, I don't know what will. But I tell you what, in my humble opinion, I think we should have pumping systems to pump the water off the land because the land can only absorb so much. But you'd be surprised how much pushback you get from behind the scenes of stopping those kinds of things while people sit down in their homes and their yards are flooded out.
That's right.
It's a serious conversation that we need to have because, yes, the water needs to go somewhere, but it can't go to another piece of land. It has to go naturally to the sea. So I'm looking forward, and I know the minister is similar of mindset and is working hard behind the scenes to start that engineering study of what we can do. But I know there's going to be a fight from some to say, oh, you can't do this while the people flood out. And we got to get past that now because you're right. Vertical drains can't cut it. But I'll leave you there. I'm happy to come on and talk about it another time.
Certainly, Minister. Thank you very much. Quick commercial break. We still have 2 callers on hold. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
So much happening so fast, too much. It is hard for me to follow my healthcare instructions. The private counseling with West Bay Pharmacy literally saved my life.
At West Bay Pharmacy, we know how complex medications can be. Our pharmacists are delighted to offer you personalized one-on-one healthcare counseling, free medication review, therapeutic callbacks, and we will liaise with your physician to ensure you receive the best in quality medical care.
Quality of life has a whole new meaning with the right pharmacy to support you. Thank you, West Bay Pharmacy.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner. Now you can WhatsApp your West Bay Pharmacy prescriptions to 516-0777.
Are you ready to step into the future? Digicell's superfast 5G network is here. Experience more lightning-fast speeds, more seamless connectivity, and more possibilities available with all Digicell bundles. Whether you're streaming, gaming, or working, our 5G technology takes your experience to a whole new level. The future is here. Visit any of our stores today and join Cayman's superfast 5G network. Digicell. Better connected.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. At Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have two callers on hold. We're going to take the WhatsApp caller first, but just want to read this person's wrote about the law school librarians. Say, law school librarians, where do we recruit our custodians of history from? What can we expect when we do not have ancestral Caymanians in charge of critical areas of our society? And I would say the custodians of our history as well, and the custodians of our historical documents. That's why Museum, National Archives must be staffed by dedicated Caymanians, real Caymanians. WhatsApp caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Orrett.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Fine, thanks.
All right, and good morning to Mr. Dr. McField.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Yes, as a young generational Caymanian, I'm gonna say something that I think a lot of people need to take pretty seriously, because we're living in the 21st century now. We've been left behind since 2000, 2004, destroyed what we knew. And what happened is we need to start thinking like human beings, because we're in a generation of artificial intelligence. It's called artificial for a reason. But what happens is when they throw away our books, when they throw away our history, when they tend to want to throw away our youths as well. Because nowadays, from my understandings, because I'm tech savvy as well, and I try to stay as traditional as possible with trying to adapt with the future. And what is going on is that they are changing the definition of what it means to be a human being. And they're also changing the definition of what it means to be lawful. So now they're changing a lot of definitions through AI, through artificial intelligence, for those that don't understand what AI means. And what I'm going to try to tell you guys is that as long as we keep believing in what we see in the internet, and then not listening to what history has told us and has shown us, then we'll be disconnected completely from what is reality, from what is right, and from what is wrong. Because you can do a lot of research as much as you want on the internet, but a book is never going to lie. But what happened is we are being dependent on the future by AI. AI in the Cayman Islands always rewrites history as a lie. So once they take away the books, they take away our knowledge, they take away everything that we know, and then everything that is introduced through artificial intelligence will be the facts of the future. So as long as we continue destroying the books and forgetting what had happened, the people that knew, they will tend to make us forget. The things that are new will make us forget. Like genders, for example. That's all I have to say. We only have 2 genders, and AI will tell you differently.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Caller, yeah.
You're welcome.
Let's grab the next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm excellent.
Did the law school digitalize the material before discarding it?
I don't know. That's what I heard. That they did not digitize all of those books before they discarded them.
I'm speechless. I thought that when you have education, it would prohibit you from doing such nonsense. That's a sarcastic statement.
All I can do is laugh, sir. Really.
I'm really disappointed to hear that, because what you rightly said, Dr. McField, is that it gives you a sense of how the law developed to the point that it's at, which is a very important process when you're trying to do research and understand how we got to where we're at.
Yes, that's what libraries are all about.
That's right. And I'm going to write the government under Section 19(2) of the Constitution, because I'm aggrieved by this decision, and I'm going to ask for written reasons for which this was done. And I want them to give me a good explanation as to why it makes sense to discard of our history like that.
Well, one thing I don't know if the public notices, but one thing that is real is that the law school is separate from the educational system here. You would think now that the law school has established itself, it would come under the University College. It would come under the University College part of education. Right. They always move it away from the University College control, and they always renting some other place. And it's not a, although the system in which the law school works under, developed under, is the University of Liverpool curriculum, and the degrees come from their university. It's the Cayman Islands Law School. It's the Truman Bodden's Law School. It is not the Liverpool Law School. And so I don't understand why they're renting other places to put the law school. I would say, unless they say it's not adequate for it to be under the University College, because it's not, they don't have the facilities there to hold it and stuff, things like that's a different matter. But they never try to upgrade that so that when people go out there at the campus, there would be the University College, which would be the law school would be part of that, like it is in University of the West Indies, University of British Columbia, University of Toronto. It's like everybody comes in, takes control, take a little piece, and that's their domain. And you don't come out here and you don't trespass on our domain, because this is what we control of. And our people just give carte blanche acquiescence.
Does the law school fall under the Attorney General?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I want to say to the Attorney General that I think he needs to look into why such a stupid decision was made by the law school to discard these important historical documents. Have a good morning, gentlemen.
Well, before you go, I don't know how old you are, but I remember when the old government house got burned down, and people went there also. So we have to be blamed too. When people went there to save a lot of the documents, because that was the place where all the documents were kept. The documents were not kept in the post office or someplace else. The documents pertaining to Cayman Islands, births, deaths, marriages, all of those things, the history, all of those things were kept in the old government house. And when the government house burnt and people went up there to try to save them, some of those people who were in power in the government said, let it burn. Let it burn. That's what they say. And people stood up there and watched all those documents, all those files being burnt, and there's nothing they could do about them. So I remember.
I'm not old enough to remember that. I wonder what they're burning today.
You see?
Take care.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. Caller, Paul, any callers on hold? One caller, we're going to take a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Since March 2004, West Bay Pharmacy has kept their doors open to the local communities, even before, during, and after Hurricane Ivan. At West Bay Pharmacy, our staff provides so much more than pharmaceutical excellence. From the moment you walk through our doors to completing your cash out, our staff will have put your healthcare concerns at ease. We would like to take this moment to thank our loyal friends and customers. To us at West Bay Pharmacy, our patients are our primary concern. We provide thorough background checks and precise calculations to ensure your medical safety. Thank you for being a part of our family and for choosing West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Just in time for summer, it's the sizzling hot appliance sale at Brand Source Home Gallery. Save 25% off all appliances now until the end of June. That's 25% off on all appliances at Brand Source. Don't miss this opportunity to replace aging appliances and get 1 year plus warranty on new appliances. The sizzling hot appliance sale now until the end of June at Brand Source, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Call 623-5000 for details.
Speed into Dream Carnival with Digicel, Cayman's #1 5G network. Win day-wear packages and aftermath tickets by activating a 10-day Prime Pro bundle or paying your bill on time. Don't miss out on these epic events. Go to your nearest Digicel store today or activate a plan in the My Digicel app for your chance to start fatting today. Digicel, better connected. The real magic of the Summer Olympics is closer than you think. Coca-Cola is giving you the chance to win a trip of a lifetime to the Olympic Games in Paris this summer. Just grab any 2 8-packs of Coca-Cola or Sprite products at a participating store and you could be jetting off to see the Olympics live and in person. It's an all-inclusive trip for 2. Don't miss out on the action. Find your nearest participating store and enter now. Follow the flame to CaymanToParis.com.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have one caller on hold. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hi, Mr. Connor and Mr. McField. It's me again.
Good morning.
McField, you know, I am always amazed how you store all of this history in your head. Every time I hear you give some history, I'm just wondering, where does he store all this information? Anyway, I'm glad that the books of the law school issue was resolved. I understand Mr. McField said the museum took the books.
Yes.
And that was very, very good. I don't think it was anticipated it would go viral the way that it did. So thankful for that. One thing I'm glad that came up, though, Mr. McField, is the issue of the law school. And I want to make it clear that I'm not throwing the law school under the bus, but this is some constructive critique that you know, based on some things that you just said. I started law school last year, September, and I wasn't aware that the law school, for the 3 years that you're there full-time or part-time, whatever, you have to study UK law. Mm-hmm. And then when you do the professional courses, when you study Cayman law, and I was really thrown off about that, and I think I did write and addressed it because I don't see the logic in that. And that doesn't make any sense for me to spend 3 entire years studying law from the UK when most of that law is not necessarily applicable here.
Yes.
And then we only spend 1 year learning Cayman law when we need that more than anything. And this was my reasoning. And I give examples to say in the UK, when you're studying law there, you study law for the I don't know what they call, I don't remember what they call them over there, but let's say in the States, it's kind of the same thing in the UK. When you're studying law in Florida, you're studying Florida law, but you're also studying federal law for the entire United States. So why can't we at the law school, when we're study English law, but also study Cayman law at the same time? Because 1 year to study Cayman law before you're called to the bar is, to me, to study law in the Cayman Islands is not adequate enough. When we're studying 3 years of British law, which, UK law, which really is not as relevant as you know more than I do to our legal system here, and that is something that I wondered about, and I don't see why we cannot. I often try to interject Caymanian law into whenever I gave any feedback or anything, but I was often told, no, that's not what we're studying, and we can't use that. But I really think that needs to be looked into, because we need to be studying Caymanian law while we're studying UK law, and know that one has a precedence over the other. But this is the four, like in Florida law dictates certain things in Florida, but then the federal law overrides certain other things, and it we should. I think you understand what I'm saying.
Oh, I do.
And
I do.
I really think that we need to look at that in the legal system, and I have spoken out about it, and I don't know what your thoughts are about it, but I don't think it's fair to us in the Cayman Islands, especially Caymanians, and when we want to study law and say we're going to be studying law and practicing in the Cayman Islands, it's doing students an injustice, if you ask me.
Well, put it practically, what you're doing in the Cayman Islands is studying as if you were studying in the University of Liverpool.
Right.
You're studying their curriculum. You're studying you're studying for a degree at the University of Liverpool in Cayman. That is how it works here.
It has nothing to do with Cayman.
It has nothing to do with Cayman whatsoever. They have not drafted any curriculum that involves Cayman at all, and that is because they want to keep control of the contents of the law school, and the contents of the law school is what Liverpool teaches in Liverpool, University of Liverpool Law School.
Right.
And then what you ought to remember is in Cayman we do law under a fused profession. We are all attorneys at law. In their system, there are two professions that are side by side, but neither one of them can even take place in the same office or same building. They are barristers at law, and they are solicitors at law. Solicitors.
Right.
The profession is not fused like in Cayman.
Right.
You can get a solicitor's degree, and you can get a barrister's degree. Barristers are the one who has access to the High Court and is wear the wigs and gowns and so forth. Solicitors are the one who does the police work in. They go to the prison. They get all of the information. They do all the witness statements. They do all that sort of stuff, and they don't even can't even share the same office. The barristers, the solicitors, then would take a case, and if he thinks that the case warrants a barrister, he would come to the barrister's clinic, to the barrister's chambers, and then he would speak to the barrister's clerk and say, "Here, I have a case here," and the clerk, who runs the chambers, not the barristers. The clerk runs the chambers, and you don't have to have a degree to be a clerk. Sometimes it's handed down in the family. He then takes the information, and he say, "You are a barrister, I'm a barrister," and he would say, "Let me see now which barrister this is best suited for," and we'll put in our slot. And I will go and take it out, and I read it, and it would give us instructions and say, blah, 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 happened, and the solicitor needs an opinion. I give a solicitor opinion, say, yes, you think it's a good case, blah, blah, and then the solicitor brings the client to the barrister's chambers, but the barrister cannot see the client alone. and the barrister and the solicitor's client then have a conference, and the barrister decides to take the case. But the barristers can't see a client alone by himself. It has to be with the solicitor present, and it has to be through his clerk. What we do here is that we are dealing directly with clients, and it's a whole different system.
Whole different system, yes. I
See?
realize that, yes, sir.
So
that makes it so confusing, because it's like, the left hand and the right hand from one another, and they're not conjoining, and it makes no sense. I don't know why no one has ever questioned this before.
Exactly. So in the Canadian system, where I went to law school, and I also went to law school at the University of the West Indies in Barbados. Now, at the Canadian system, they teach it by the Socratic method. They will give you. They will come in and say, today we are going to talk about self-defense. And they will outline the principles of self-defense for you. And then they will give you a whole 3 pages of cases on self-defense. And then you go and you read them. And he will come and say, Mrs. Bryan, can you give us the facts on a postcard of Jones against the Crown against Jones? And I will tell the class what it says, and he will say, Mr. Connor, will you tell what was held? And then Mr. McField, was there any dissenting judgments? Blah, blah, blah. And they would open up the class for discussion. And you have to read the cases, because if you don't read them, they will call on you and so forth. You get marks for that. In England and so forth, they lecture you for 45 minutes. And they give you 15 minutes for our questions and answers, and they're gone.
But they still study law relevant to their city, or their I don't know what they're called in England and Canada. In the U.S. they're called states, right?
Yes.
But they still study law relevant to, say, their district and the country on a whole. So they're getting both.
Yes.
Not just one. Not just one where we're getting only Liverpool and we're not getting Cayman law until we do the professional degree of only 1 year.
Yes.
And we, especially us as Caymanians, who pride ourselves in being lawyers and want to go out there and represent our people in our country, we want to be able to have that information and have that knowledge beforehand, not just spend 3 years studying someone else's law that we may never even have to use.
Yes.
So we want to be able to integrate both, so we know that, okay, well, if we look at Cayman law, and that something else supersedes that, if we need to go there, we need to integrate both of them while we're studying for the actual law degree.
Yes.
And that's my point of view, because most other countries, the countries that we're mentioning here, that's a system that I see that they have in place. So why can't we do that for Cayman?
Well, because we don't control anything, really.
Yeah.
All we do is pay the money to those people who work there. We don't have any control.
Okay. Caller, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Paul, any other callers on hold? One caller. I want to grab that caller before we go to the break, because after this caller after the break, we're going to close the phone lines off, because a couple of things we want to talk about, and we want to share at least one portion of the Colonial office's report on the Cayman Islands in 1946, and it mirrors the Cayman Islands so much today as well. Folks, so let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC.
Morning.
Good morning.
Well, I just called. I know you don't have time, so I just called to say that me too don't have time for you all today, because I'm very busy in my library studying my law book that goes back to the 1600s.
What?
I really don't have time for you guys. I'm busy in my books. Okay.
Yes. It's a pity that I couldn't get out there, but I had to. I got one or two for you. Okay, good.
One or two for you.
Great.
Right?
And that source that you gave me, I will be calling on them as well.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Thank you very much. We're going to take a last commercial break. We're closing the phone lines off now. We never got to talk about Constitution Day coming up on Monday as well, but I'll see what we can squeeze in. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Are you ready to step into the future? Digicell's super-fast 5G network is here. Experience more lightning-fast speeds, more seamless connectivity, and more possibilities available with all Digicel bundles. Whether you're streaming, gaming, or working, our 5G technology takes your experience to a whole new level. The future is here. Visit any of our stores today and join Cayman's super-fast 5G network. Digicel. Better connected.
Cayman, mark your calendars for the high-speed thrills of the third round of the 2024 C1 National Tour. Sunday, June 30th at South Sound Dock. Current division leaders Nathan McLean, Joshua Watler, Caden Green, and Brian Dixon look to defend their top positions on the open waters. But the rest of the pack is on the attack. Gather the family and enjoy a fun-filled day of thrilling races, delicious food, and cool treats. Admission is free. Be there to catch all the action live with the Cayman Islands Watercraft Association. Round 3 of the 2024 C1 National Tour, Sunday, June 30th at South Sound Dock, starting at 11 a.m. Proudly sponsored by Car City, Cayman Islands Coast Guard, Cayman Islands Fire Service, Pepsi, Fast Signs, J&M Equipment, Ministry of Youth, Sports and Heritage, Party Animals, Sea Breeze Charters and Jet Ski Rentals, Verdant Isle Farm, Health City, Cayman Islands, National Logistics, Onshore IT, Ministry of Tourism and Ports, Radio Cayman, and Breeze FM.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have about 10 minutes left, 11 minutes to go in the show this morning. We have closed the phone lines off because there are several. We didn't get an opportunity to talk about Constitution Day, but we're going to give a little drips and drabs in relation to the Constitution. And what I want to do, I want to incorporate into that one of our listeners on Wednesday's show who wanted to address the point regarding Jamaica and the ownership of Cayman and this whole issue. That person also questioned, what about donating those books, those law books to our schools as well? And when you get a chance, you can talk about that, whether or not they're at the level, I guess, university level more than, say, high school, but you can tell, talk in terms of the quality. So when we go to our Constitutional Commission's website, just on the part there that talks about the Cayman Islands and the relationship with Jamaica, I'm going to review this very quickly before we go to the 1946 Colonial Report. It says, compared with many of the other larger islands in the Caribbean, the Cayman Islands was not such an attractive proposition for European colonists. As a result, when England took formal control of the Cayman Islands in 1670 as a crown colony, the people who had settled there following grants of land by the British Crown in 1734 and 1741 were largely left to fend for themselves, while for the purposes of colonial expediency, and I'm going to repeat that, while for the purposes of colonial expediency, the Cayman Islands were administered through Jamaica at the time. There was no formal constitutional underpinning of the relationship with Jamaica, or indeed the relationship between the Cayman Islands and the United Kingdom. It is in this context of relative isolation and neglect that the Assembly of the Justices and Vestry was unilaterally established in the Cayman Islands in 1831 in order to make laws that were sensitive to local needs. So again, it was because of colonial expediency why the Cayman Islands were administered through Jamaica at the time. So were the Turks and Caicos Islands as well.
And was neglect.
Right.
That we had to take things in our own hands.
Yeah, we were ignored.
Yes. From anybody else. And the fact that there was no constitutional relationship between either us or Britain or others in Jamaica.
Yes. Okay. So you have an interest in the 1946 Colonial Report.
The lady who called were asking me about how do I get my knowledge and so forth. Well, I would like to share with her that my culture and historical pride are my source of strength and my source of information. And I am so proud of that. I would just like to share with your audience, your listeners, some of the things that brought us to where we are today, so that those people who say that we're lazy and that we're fool and that we can't handle our own selves and that we can't govern our own selves, I just want to let them know what the report that we Colonial Office said about us in 1946 says. And this is the introduction.
Okay.
There has been considerable improvements in the social economic position of the dependency during the last decade.
And I'm going to interrupt you very quickly. They use the dependency throughout all of their reports because that's what we were referring to.
That's what we were referred to as a dependency.
Yeah.
Revenue during this period has practically doubled itself, and as a result, funds have been available for the carrying out of many essential public works. This increase in revenue has caused, in the first place, by income derived from the sale of stamps of two special issues, the Coronation issue of 1937 and the Pictorial issue of 1938. Then came the war, and practically every able-bodied man not already at sea and not employed in a reserve occupation volunteered for service in the Merchant Navy, the Royal Navy Volunteers Reserve, or the Army. A number of men were employed in the Canal Zone as skilled workmen by contractors to the United States Army and Navy. The remittance out of the high wages made by these men to their families in Cayman resulted in a sharp rise in the spending power
of the
inhabitants, and this in turn was reflected in the rise of imports and accompanying rise in revenue. The United States Navy and later the Coast Guard station.
There's a part there. The circulation of American dollars.
The circulation of American dollars by the members of the unit of the United States Navy and later the Coast Guard stationed since 1942 at the base in Grand Cayman are also had an effect on the economy of the dependency.
Yep.
In 1937, a free grant from imperial funds enabled 4 lighthouses in Grand Cayman and 1 each in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman to be erected. And in the same year, the small 4-bed hospital at Georgetown was reconstructed. In 1938...
That would be where the old immigration building is now. Yes. Mm-hmm.
In 1938 and 1939 saw many improvements in the shape of the erection at Georgetown of a library and the new government building housing the Treasury, Customs, and Post Office. Town halls built in the 4 principal districts of Grand Cayman serve the people not only as social centers but as schools, and it's unfortunate that the war prevented the completion of the scheme, which included the erection of similar buildings at Cayman Brac. Mm-hmm. Some improvements in the public health was effected following the appointment in 1942 of a sanitary inspector, a Caymanian who received his training in Jamaica.
I'm going to just pause you there for a second. If anybody out there knows who that person was, please let us know, because I was trying to think who would that Caymanian have been at that time who would have gone to Jamaica to serve as a training inspector. And throughout this whole report...
Mr. Lee Banks from West Bay.
Oh, Mr. Arthur?
Mr.
No?
Lee.
Mr. Lee.
Okay. West Bay.
Okay, because throughout the reports, it talks about, Caymanians being sent to this Cape, but they were extremely careful not to provide names.
Mr. Lee Banks from West Bay.
Okay, thanks, Doc. Go right ahead.
In 1944, a fully qualified government nurse was added to the staff, and arrangements made for the training of 5 Caymanian nurses at the public hospital in Jamaica.
Uh-huh.
One of those was Miss Anna Bush.
Okay.
Nurse
Anna, you call her, yeah?
Yes. But I think she was aunt to Miss Sybil McLaughlin.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And Miss Beulah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
McLaughlin.
Let's share some more. Quick.
In an effort to improve the educational facilities in the dependency, several senior students were asked to take courses at training colleges in Kingston, Jamaica. During the war, the increased demand for turtle and straw rope resulted in a corresponding rise in the prices of these commodities. Straw rope, which is made from the tops of the thatch palm, mainly by women and entirely by hand, is in great demand by the fishermen of Jamaica, for it is claimed that this rope is more durable than others in seawater. The shipbuilding industry, unfortunately, suffered greatly during the war years through shortage of materials. Only 3 vessels, including 2 trawlers for the British Admiralty, were constructed in the dependency during this period. That was out there, Mr. Watler's house in South Church Street.
Uh-huh.
My grandfather, Mr. Felix Thompson, and all of those worked on those, and Mr. Baxter from South Sun worked on those.
Okay.
The Captain Rail had the contract to build those trawlers.
Uh-huh.
The financial position of the dependency at the end of the year 1945 to 1946 was satisfactory. A reserve fund of £25,000 and a hurricane fund of £2,000 had been built up, and there was in addition accumulated surplus of £11,000. A pleasing future too was the increased use being made of the government savings bank, for whereas deposits in 1937 total £3,500, the figure at the end of 1945 was nearing £100,000 mark. These figures not only show the thriftiness of the people, but confirm the fact that there has been a very considerable increase in the wealth of the dependency. Taxation has changed little during the past 10 years, the only increase being imposition of a package tax in 1940, and in the following year, the addition of the amount of insurance and freight to that of the cost of goods for the purpose of assessment of custom import duty.
Doc, I'm going to have to interrupt you there, but there's, so much. I just encourage people, if you have an interest in this, that you should Google, and there are several universities in the United States, Berkeley, the University of California in Berkeley, University of Illinois. Google Books you can find it there as well. Colonial Office Annual Reports on the Cayman Islands. And like I said, someone sent me a message saying that the museum has them going back to the 1920s as well. Doc, again, I want to thank you very much. This has been a really good show this morning, and a lot of people calling in as well. We didn't get to talk a whole lot about our Constitution Day. People should bear in mind, as part of our history, how many of you know that we had a Constitution in 1962, but it only came into effect in 1965 because for some reason the British Parliament never
approved it. Didn't come into effect either.
Yeah.
Until 1972.
72, yes.
Because they say they forgot to lay it before Parliament.
Parliament, yes, folks.
And remember now, Constitution Day is the first Monday in every July.
Yep. Yes.
Because in 1959, the first Constitution was the 4th of July, 1959, and the last vestry, which was 40-something years old, the last day of the old vestry was the 3rd of July, 1959. And remember now, the new Constitution also brought in the right for women to vote.
Yes. I'm still a little bit perturbed at the decision that was made in relation to that in the before they actually gained the right to vote, when they sought the opinion from the courts or from the could have been the Attorney General or whomever in Jamaica, that he said that while the legislation didn't prevent women from voting, it didn't permit them either. I couldn't understand that argument. That was an argument of convenience, just to find a way out.
To find a way out,
But folks, Constitution Day, enjoy it as well. If you get an opportunity, please familiarize yourself with your Constitution. There are so much information on the Constitutional Commission's website. A huge amount of resources there. Avail yourself to it as well. This way, when you call on in the show, you can take us on sometimes and tell us, what's in there.
And
as
what you agree with and what you don't agree with.
Exactly.
And look at all of the amendments to it.
Yes.
The amendments we have.
And look at all of the amendments that didn't take place that have been recommended by the Commission, and nothing has happened as well. So, folks, have a great weekend. Remember, the weather is terrible out there. Lots of rain. Be careful. We need the rain. Be careful. Join Sterling Dwayne Ebanks at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury, and JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice.
Since 1976.
Covering Grand Cayman, no Cayman, Cayman right. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman